I'm Tom Prince of Western New York Athletics, and you are here at the special edition from the sidelines. Boy, this is a real special one as I get the opportunity to talk to three standout players from Western New York high school baseball that are now in the professional baseball ranks and couldn't be more excited to talk to each and every one of them so they could tell us about their journey and tell us about a lot of things that have experienced along the way. So, without further ado, my introductions. Let's start out first with the Giants organization. Former high school with Cleveland Hill, Aaron Phillips from
What's
the
going on, guys?
organization. Oops, sorry there. So,
No, you're fine.
and then from the A's organization, from Starpoint High School, Matt Cross,
What's going on?
and then from the Brewers Organization, from Lancaster, LG Castillo. Guys, thanks for joining me.
No
John,
problem.
glad to be.
Awesome. Well, listen, let's get right into questions. My first one is very simple: is how are you guys holding up in all this? I mean, it's been as you know, high school players going nuts right now. Not only high school players, but everybody, just because they want to get back to work. We're all stuck in the houses. You guys are in the same boat. So, how are you doing right now? Aaron, let's start with yourself.
Well, first and foremost, I think the most important thing is that everyone here is healthy. My family members, everyone's safe. So, yeah, it's not ideal not being able to play right now this early in the season. Obviously, we want to be out there, on the baseball field. But the biggest thing is that everyone's healthy and holding up okay, just trying to stay in shape for whenever, we return back to getting back out there and playing like normal.
Yeah. Now, Aaron, are you here in Western New York?
Yes, at home in Cheektowaga, where I grew up, same place. Would have been who knows where, but yeah, we're all back home right now. I'm back in Western New York.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Matt, how about yourself?
I mean, sitting at home, everyone's healthy. I've been doing a lot of keep myself busy, fishing, going out for walks, stuff like that. Same with Aaron saying everyone's still healthy. Good thing. Can't really do much anyway, so stuck in the house all day.
I hear you there. And LG, how about you?
Yeah, no, just piggybacking off of what my boy two guys said here. It's weird. It's weird being home though. It's definitely the first time I've been home for a spring. I don't know how long. I know it's the same thing with the other two guys, but I mean, it's had its up and downs though. I mean, it sucks not being able to play ball, but I definitely got to enjoy the time with some family that I would not be able to do on any other time.
Yeah, that's great. Well, I'm just glad you guys are doing okay. So let's get right into my questions. So the first one is, and it sounds like you may not know, have you gotten any updates at this point as to any sort of start or where you could be going? And then to piggyback off of it is, where were you when they actually announced the shutdown? What were you doing at that point? So Matt, let's start with you on this one.
No idea where it was. I mean, it was too early in the camp where we were going, but as soon as they told us that we were just starting a practice, we got our warm-ups done and everything, and then they brought us all together. They were telling us that we were being sent home, and it was kind of a bummer. We just got our feet wet and everything. Pitchers and catchers were reporting, stuff like that. And then as soon as we got back to the hotel, we got our stuff and we headed back to New York.
Wow. And D, how about yourself?
Yeah, I mean, we were actually rain delayed, so we had that day banged to begin with, and we were actually at our apartments. It was like a big rain in our area, so we kind of just all were sitting in our apartments and little by little checked our emails, and then we saw the NBA season was canceled the day before, but you don't really think it's going to be canceled or you're going to be sent home until you get those flight information tickets, and you're like, oh, it actually happened. But it's been a while. It still doesn't feel real.
And LG, any updates so far as to anything?
No, they've been telling us that just stay watching the news, but who knows?
Yeah, exactly. And Aaron, how about yourself on this one?
Yeah, kind of like the other two guys. I was out at practice. It was a little bit of rain in Arizona, but we were out there just kind of starting. We went through the whole practice. They had a meeting, and at the meeting, they kind of told us, we have no updates for you guys right now. We're not exactly sure. Like LG was saying, the NBA had just gotten canceled kind of like that week or the day before. So we kind of had a thought that it could happen, but we went back to the team hotel. I think I was sitting just playing cards, hanging out with a couple of guys, and we all got texts saying, come down and get your flight information. Everyone's going home. So we had to all go back to the facility and clean out our lockers and everything, and just haven't really had too many updates from there. You know, the guys are just kind of really focused on getting us prepared at home. You know, the Giants have done a good job with like strength coaches and stuff, sending out programs and doing what we have to do from here. But no, I was at the team hotel, and everyone kind of got the text at the same time saying, we're going home.
All right, my next question is, guys, can you take me on the journey that you've taken so far through the minor leagues? So, I mean, I know you've been on multiple teams or multiple scenarios, but can you take me on that journey? LG, let's start with you on this one.
Yeah, I mean, I started off my my rookie campaign in Helena, Montana. So that was back in 2018. That was something else. I mean, these guys can tell you affiliates are like the most incredible things, because like it's just something you're not used to at all, and like you think you're ready to take it hands on, and like it's a completely different lifestyle sometimes. But I enjoyed my time in Helena. A lot of mountains, so like it wasn't. I had to change my cell phone carrier because I wasn't even getting service in Helena because they hadn't heard of something that I had back then. So I had to go to Verizon, and I was like, man, this is crazy. But the people there, I mean, they love you. They treat you like a big leaguer. So it's fascinating. Like, and it's your first like real taste of what could be if you achieve the goal in the end. So it's nice.
Wow, that's.
I mean, I've been to also Wisconsin, Appleton, Wisconsin. That was our low A last year. Also to Zebulon, North Carolina. So 3 completely different places. And to say like that I've been able to live in 3 different places in 2 different years and play baseball is something different. Like you probably wouldn't be able to do it in a lot of other like jobs and stuff. So that's cool to me.
Wow, that's a great one right there. Aaron, how about yourself on this one?
Yeah, so coming out of my junior year of college, I had already thrown 100 innings that year. So I played a whole full season of college baseball, threw 100 innings, and then went out to Salem, Oregon. And Salem was pretty cool. You know, it's a lot different scenery than it is here, obviously. And it was one cool thing about playing in Salem is that there's a team in Vancouver. So I got to go up and play in Canada too. So that was a different type of experience. But I get lucky because the Giants are a West Coast team, but they have 2 East Coast affiliates. So I was able to play the next year in low A in Augusta, Georgia. So at least, some family was able to get out there. That's a little easier, just being on the East Coast, and the time difference is a big deal. The time difference, 3 hours, being on the West Coast, nobody's awake, especially after your games. They might stay up, if I have an outing, but I'm not pitching, you're not talking to anybody once the game starts or after that. And then last year I was in San Jose, which was back on the West Coast. So, I bounced around 1 year at a time. I've kind of played a full season at the level I was supposed to be at, which is as normal as you can get for a minor leaguer, because these guys know, like, there is no real normal. You can go anywhere at any time. So I threw one game in AAA last year, and they told me at 1 a.m. the night before that my flight was at 11 a.m. So like there is no normal in minor league baseball. You just kind of deal with it and do whatever they ask you to do to the best of your ability.
Mm-hmm. Wow. And your junior year was at St. Bonaventure, correct, Aaron?
Yes.
So right from there off to the minor league. So wow, that's fantastic. Another great story. Matt, how about yourself on that one?
First year, I was in Arizona the whole year. I was actually hurt. It was a little bit of an impingement in my shoulder. It was a bit of a setback. But the next year, I got moved up to Short A, my first full season, which was last year. And I was up in Short A in Vermont. And that was a totally different feeling, like LG said. I mean, it felt like home. Being out in Arizona for those 4 months, out and extended, and then going back here, it was it was amazing. And then we needed some guys up in high A in Stockton, California. And then so I went over there for a little bit. And then finally I finished my season in Arizona.
Wow. Some great stories, guys. So listen, Aaron, you alluded to it right now. You're a strength and conditioning coach, obviously sending stuff out to you guys right now as we speak. So my question to you is, what are you doing though to stay active and in baseball ready shape? What are some of the things that you were doing? So Aaron, let's start off with you on this one.
Yeah, so I mean, I have a pretty good relationship with my strength coach because I had him for a full year last year, and then I had him in the same kind of work groups for spring training this year. So we've been together for about a year and a half. So, he calls me about once a week and we kind of go through stuff that's just for me. So a lot of guys like to do total body workouts. I'm someone that would rather focus on one part during the workout, just to get the most out of it. Everyone's different. But for me, band work at home, stretching, plyo balls, shoulder care, and then throwing to the best we can because everywhere's closed pretty much. But, I don't care. I'll go outside or in my front yard or backyard, do whatever I have to do. And I live right around the corner from my high school. So, I'm pretty close. I can get right around there and, take PFPs or do whatever I have to do to stay in shape. But no, it's lifting, stretching, throwing on pretty much a daily basis and trying to stay healthy and not overdo it because this is an easy way to get hurt when you're on your own, and you're coming off a camp just for a couple weeks. So who knows when we get back out there, just trying to stay in shape any way I can.
And you got some brothers at home that could help you out a little bit too, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. So Tyler gets the duties of trying to catch both ends now. So I know you guys know him. He's probably not too happy with that. But the younger two, we try to get them out there as much as we can. But Tyler really, if I have to work on a pitch or do something, it's really his shins that feel it. So, I thank him, but I'm sure he's not too happy about that.
That's great. And Matt, how about you on that one?
I mean, been throwing every single day. I've actually bought a couple tennis balls. I got a pretty big yard back out, and I've been hitting tennis balls in my backyard. And I mean, it's at least something I can do for hitting because, everything's closed, as like Aaron said. The thing that's terrible is that it's been snowing, obviously, the past week, something like that. Body weight push-ups. I mean, it's just a lot of body weight stuff, push-ups, squats, sit-ups, all like that. I've been trying to get it in, but it's kind of weather permitting too.
Yeah, no doubt about it. LG, how about you?
Yeah, I mean, just like Aaron, I'm pretty close with my strength coach as well, and I'm pretty close with actually a lot of them. That's how the Brewers Organization is kind of brought up, and they'll text us. I mean, we got a big group chat. We have an app actually we download, and they send us all of our workouts. They'll be like, try this out, and it's actually specific to us. I spent the offseason in Arizona, and they brought up different workouts for me that worked for me. So I mean, they're kind of keeping that same regiment, and it's kind of helped me now that I'm home, and they know that being home, or they know it's snowing in Buffalo, so they know we don't have the same leisure as a lot of guys do that we play with because we're snowing, and then they're out on the beach running around isolating themselves, but it's still 85 for them, where it's 10 degrees, not 10, but 20 degrees for us.
Wow. Yeah, and that's it. How true is that? We deal with, as you guys know, we've always dealt with it. Find places now. We're getting better and better here, at least in Western New York, to try to find places that we can do more and more, at least in the winter and this awful weather in the winter programs. So, okay, you guys know I do cover high school sports, and that was the whole reason why I wanted to bring you on, to kind of give the high school players, what some of the greats have done here in Western New York. So my question to you is what was the most memorable baseball moment that you've had? So Matt, let's start with you on this one.
We went to sectionals one year. It was my sophomore year, and it was a tight game. And I think it was Alex O'Donnell, if you remember. He threw an absolute gem that one game, and I think we ended up winning 2-3, 8th inning. That was the biggest, I'd say, my high school
So
moment.
And I was even told about a game, which we very rarely hear about this because of pitch counts these days, but a game where you pitched both games in a double header. Am I right on that? You pitched the one game and then closed the next game?
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's
Bro, what?
yeah, it would be. I was kind of the closer in my junior year. That's how it was. It was kind of go play the field and then go back out and pitch, and then the same thing happened next day.
That's awesome. That's a great
So
one.
Yeah.
who are you guys playing?
Blaine,
Who were you guys playing? Who did you guys
Who are
play?
you playing?
I think it was Albion. Albion.
Say, bro, we gotta talk to that coach, bro.
Yeah.
We gotta talk to that coach.
LG, how about you on that one?
Mine comes with a little controversy. I mean, from my boys at Will North. We actually, it was my junior year as well. It was in the semifinals of the sectional like bracket or whatever. And the inning prior to me hitting the walk off was a bases loaded like jam or whatever. We get a ground ball hit to our first baseman. Our first baseman touches the bag and goes home with it right away. Our catcher, I don't know if he realized it or not, or he just wasn't thinking, just steps on home plate like if it's a force out. But as we all know, it's not a force out anymore. The umpire clearly forgot as well, and he called it a force out as well. So double play in a game they would have took the lead, and they probably would have ended up walking me the next inning. But Will North, our leadoff batter, Don Monte, got on. His brother popped out in a bunt drive, and then they threw to me, and I hit a walk-off against Alex Swan.
I remember that story.
Wow. That's a great one.
I mean, that was for me, it was a highlight. But then, I mean, the next year after that, we lost to Will North in the same game, and a controversy that was something else. But I got my payback.
Ball don't lie. That's why. Ball don't lie.
There you go. Aaron, how about you on that one?
See, for me, like he went to a little bigger high school. So Cleve Hill is known for like football, basketball. So baseball for me was just kind of, I played just because I loved it. All my stuff came from travel. But there was a game in high school that I was pitching against Lackawanna, and some of those guys it just felt like they had never played before. But I struck out 19 of 21 people.
Wow.
There was 21 batters, and 19 of them struck out. And I actually got mad at my catcher because one of the other outs, I had 2 strikes on a guy, and I threw a high fastball, and he threw a guy out trying to steal third. And if he didn't do that, I probably would have struck out 20. I was actually, no joke, I yelled at him coming out the field. I said, "Why did you throw him out?"
That's great. Oh, that's awesome. All right, so my next question to you guys is, so we built on the high school moment. What is your most memorable professional baseball moment you've had so far? All right, so let's go with LG on this one.
Kind of hard to choose because like it's pro ball. Like, so I mean, almost every like big moment you try not thinking of it too big because they tell you to stay in the moment. But I don't think any of you dream to get there, but like it's still big even if you don't show it. Even it's still big. So I mean, but biggest moment for me in pro ball so far, I think was we were in Helena, Montana, and my birthday actually, I think maybe my 19th or maybe my 18th. I don't remember. No, it had to be 19th. My mom and dad were in town, and I got to hit a home run. I hit a home run the first pro ball that they got to go see. I hit a home run, so that was nice to accomplish that.
That's awesome.
That's still fun to think about.
That's a great one.
Yeah.
How about you?
For me, let's see. Last year was the first year that I made a playoff run, so that was pretty solid. But there was a game during the year that pro ball for pitchers. There's a pitch count pretty much every game. Like they don't want you dependent. Doesn't really matter how well you're throwing, but they don't want guys to get hurt 7th, 8th, 9th inning on. So I was able to throw a complete game last year for the first time on like 98 pitches or something. We weren't allowed to go really over like 95, but I gave up one hit in the 6th inning. That was it. Fell in front of the right fielder, and it was a complete game, one hitter, and that was probably the best outing I've had. And kind of like that feeling of you get done and you just feel like, okay, I can really, really do this at a high level. So that was probably for me the most memorable moment I have in pro ball so far.
Nice. And that AAA outing had to be something too.
Yeah. That one was like, I mean, it's memorable because of the experience. Like that was
Absolutely.
a ridiculous like 24 hours for me. But that was more of just adrenaline and just going out there and just pitching. Like it just didn't think about anything, just threw, and whatever happened. Because in that situation, you're not really supposed to. You know, they don't expect you to throw well. So doing that, you know, on no notice against guys that had played, you know, that whole lineup had like six or seven guys that had major league time. So that was definitely an experience, but getting that close to a perfect game, well, that was big for me.
Nice. And Matt, how about yourself?
I think it would be when I was in Stockton. It was my first game that I was catching there, and I was up to bat. I think we were down. We were 4, and I came up. Nobody was on base, and I hit my first career home run high up the game, and then ended up going on and catching I'd say probably one of my best games I've ever caught in my professional career. So I mean that was probably like a stick out moment for me in my career so far.
Nice.
Yep.
Those are great stories, you guys. So my next question is a little bit of a fun question, okay? So they say right now that hindsight is 20/20. If you could go back and there's anything else that you'd like to do over on, what would that do over be? Aaron, how about yourself on this one?
Oh man, what would that do over be? Let's see. I'll tell you what. You guys see me?
Yep, we got you. Sorry, we see that for a second.
There we go. The do-over would probably be going into pro ball. You know, in college, I only threw fastball, breaking ball, pretty much. And when I got to pro ball, some of the best hitters I've ever come across, you know, hitting coaches or just hitters that are still playing right now, has said the toughest thing to do is hit a changeup. And so I've developed a changeup, you know, as pretty much my best pitch or secondary pitch right now. I would have gone back in college for sure and try to learn that earlier and make that a part of my game, because I think that is a really big weapon for me right now. And it's still developing, obviously, but having it polished earlier would probably be what I would say, you know, to try to develop that at an earlier age.
That's a great one right there. Matt, how about yourself on that one?
I mean, I can't complain where I'm at now. Honestly, I don't know if I would change a lot. I mean, I get to play the game that I love for a professional, and I don't think I would change anything. I mean, this is a dream. I don't know.
That's awesome. And LG, how would you answer that one?
Yeah, so really one thing I wish I could really honestly go back and do is, I don't know, maybe ball one more time with my high school boys, like my teammates, because those dudes, it was different back then. Like it was more like a grind. It was still. I mean, it's 100% grind right now. Pro ball is 100% a grind, but the grind in high school was different because it was more of like a friend. It was you and your buddies playing ball and getting down with it. I mean, we asked around Lancaster. We did what we did when I was there, and it was fun doing it. But it was because how hard all my friends would work. So like, I wish I could have joined in more of that. You know what I mean? Like instead of just relying so much on just basically just the talent. That's one thing I would tell high school kids to don't slack off on at all. Like, if you think you're working hard, work a little harder. Work a lot harder. Yeah. That's one thing I would definitely go back and change. Working 10 times harder than what I think I already worked. Because there's always room, man.
So, which is perfect, because you're leading right into my next question, which was going to be, what advice would you give to a high school baseball player right now? So that was actually going to be my next question. Was the perfect lead-in. Is there anything you'd add to that, LG?
Yeah, I would tell high schoolers like work hard, man. Like don't get so riled up and don't get so focused in rankings and all that kind of BS. I know I probably sound like it was not when I was in high school. I paid attention to all that stuff, and like I paid attention to it, but it wasn't what was gonna like make or break me. You know what I mean? What would break me is if they thought someone was better than me, but that broke me in a way of like I was gonna work harder to go show them that wasn't true. You feel me? Like that's the only way I was looking at the rankings. So like I would tell high school kids just work hard and like play the game, man. Like someone's always watching. Like you think it's a myth until it really happens to you. Like someone is always watching, and it's not just it just happened. Like so and so was doing this on this ball field. You ask these two or any other guys in pro ball. It didn't just happen one day or one night. They did stuff correctly.
That's over time.
100 straight nights to get noticed one day. So like everyone's like, oh, I'm just waiting for my opportunity. I'm waiting for my chance. Bro, do it every day. Be real with yourself. You do it every day, you'll never have to ask that question.
Great advice right there. And no doubt, I talked about the Lancaster camaraderie that you guys had too, because you alluded that in the last one, and it is one of the best in Western New York. When you look at the camaraderie of a team, it just seems to be year after year. That is the stronghold that Lancaster has, and is a reason why it does so well as a team, no matter what the sport, year after year after year.
So, and that's just the culture Lancaster kind of has. Like they installed it in me because it was there before I got there. It was there. I'm not gonna act like I was the one that brought it up. You got some guys like Ryan Steckel, Joe Prezuccio. I mean, you got Sam Hafen. Like you got guys like Ben Hafen. I remember that. But you got guys that have been there before me that were dogs, and they brought that upon me, and I just trying to get like a train effect. You know what I mean? Like it's contagious.
It is. You're absolutely right. It is. And Aaron, what advice would you give?
For me, so I grew up playing travel ball with Prez and Steckel since I was like 12. So I always had to hear about Big Bad Lancaster, and I just used to say, "Oh, come see us some basketball." That was my only comeback because I couldn't say anything about baseball. But no, for those guys, that culture is amazing. But for me, like coming from Cleve Hill, which is not a baseball school and not a baseball program, my biggest thing was I was constantly worried about like, was I going to be seen enough to go play where I wanted to play eventually? And one thing my parents always used to tell me is it doesn't matter where you are. If you're good, they will find you. Someone will find you. So I had one offer coming out of high school to play because I wanted to hit and pitch in college. And I was able to do that at Bonaventure, which again, isn't a big school. So for me, the best advice I can give you is no matter where you are, I could have gone in high school, I could have switched over and gone to St. Mary's. And I really thought about doing it because I was worried that I wasn't going to be able to get seen where I was. And the biggest thing that kept me there was like, I played football and basketball. And like LG was saying at Lancaster, like that's kind of like a brotherhood type thing where I was that I didn't want to leave. So I didn't care if it was a small school. I was just going to keep working hard and someone will see me, where I am. And that ended up happening for me just because of, travel ball or whatever happened. So I didn't want to leave that. So for me, my best advice would be, it doesn't matter where you are, what school, how big of the program it is, just work hard and people will find you no matter what.
There you go. And Matt, how about you?
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. You gotta work your butt off. I mean, you gotta be the best version you can be, but also you just gotta have fun, man. I mean, it's totally different playing high school ball with all your buddies. It's totally different atmosphere. And then, if everyone knows, so you're gonna get seen. It's just the way it is. But I mean, you gotta just take it one step at a time. You gotta have fun with it. I mean, you never know when it's gonna be your last game. So just work hard, have fun, have no worries. Don't put too much pressure on yourself. I kind of put a little bit too much pressure on myself. I was kind of got down on myself a lot. And once I realized, I was like, I just started having fun. I mean, all my buddies are here. We're playing the game. That's all you got to really do. You got to have fun with it.
That's great. Now, I don't know if you've heard locally. You know, one of the biggest tournaments here locally for a 12U player is Cooperstown. You know, and it's unfortunate that this year has been canceled, Cooperstown. So these poor 12Us are not going to get a chance for a memory that would have been phenomenal to have. Matt, you got a pretty hell of a memory right there for Cooperstown.
Yeah,
If I'm correct, you got a big memory to discuss there, don't you?
Me and Leo. I mean, but my first year with A-Turf Titans, we actually we got in second place. We went to Cooperstown, played on Dreams Park. That was unbelievable. I'm getting chills right now just talking about it. It was unbelievable. God, just the memories. Me and Charlie Mack were on that team. We were actually tied 8-8 in the bottom of the fifth inning, and then they ended up hitting a couple bombs. You know, what happened after that. And then the next year, me and LG, we were playing the top team. It was like the semifinals, top tier team. Everyone was. I remember it was only on the side field. Everyone was there to see that game. Everybody. It was crazy. It wasn't even the championship game. We ended up losing 6-5 on a walk-off base hit. That team was incredible too.
I still want to cry.
You one year took second place, and then next year took fourth place.
Yeah.
Still want to cry,
awesome.
Team. Oh my God, those guys were the best.
That is
the best team.
Oh, another great memory there, guys. All right, so my last question I have for you guys. Take me back to draft day, okay? And talk about what the feeling was when you actually heard your name announced for the first time. So, Aaron, let's start with you on this one.
I was weird. I wanted to be by myself because I didn't know it was going to happen. You know, I felt like I had a good chance, but like coming from Bonaventure and like having a good year was one thing, but like actually playing pro ball, that's a completely different. You know, I dreamed of it, but wasn't really going to happen. I'm not sure. So my brother actually had a game, the youngest one, he was still playing T-ball. So my whole family went to the game, and I said, I'll meet you guys there whenever it happens, if it happens, whatever. And we'll talk about it then. So my agent called me, and it happened so fast. He was pretty good friends with the Giants GM, and the 9th round came up, and he called me and he said, what do you think about the Giants? And I was like looking at the board, and they were in like 5 picks. And I'm like, I mean, I don't care. Yes, like absolutely. And so I'm following it on my phone, and like he hung up the phone, a couple of picks went by, and my name just came up on my phone. I was like, what just happened? like does that mean I'm playing? Like that's me? So, I called him back. He said, yep, you're a Giant. That's gonna happen. I wouldn't let anyone in the house with me until like I knew for sure. So I drove over to the field, and like everyone had already figured it out. But it was a pretty warm welcome. You know, all the parents and everything were like congratulating me. So it was a cool experience to be able to like go to a baseball field right after that, just kind of be around baseball, even if it was T-ball. Like that was crazy for me because obviously that's where we all started. Like it just looked like a whole full circle type thing watching my youngest brother play T-ball, and now I'm playing professional ball. It was a cool experience.
That's awesome. Matt, how about you on that one?
I was actually home alone. I didn't know if it was going to happen or not. I mean, coming out of a JUCO, it was a possibility, but once my agent called me, all he said was, "Are you ready to become a professional athlete?" And I just was like, kind of stuttered. I was like, "What'd you just say?" I was like, "You ready?" I said, "Yeah." He was like, "Okay, well, A's are taking you in the 19th round." I was like, "Okay." I was so like shocked. I was like, is this actually happening? Like, is this a dream or something? Like, it was just did not feel real for about a week and a half. It did not feel real until I actually landed in Arizona and I actually started playing. I was just like, wow, this is actually happening right now. So that was pretty shocking.
That's awesome. And LG, how about you?
Yeah, I was actually home. I was with a couple of friends. I was sitting on the couch, laying down. I was just chilling. Like I was like them. I think I was a little more anxious. I was like, man, because I was hearing already. Like I already heard in 2 separate rounds that there was a possibility I was going. So I was like anxious, but I didn't want to show nobody that I was anxious, because I was like, when the 17th round came in the first pick of that 17th round, it was like, hey, heads up, you could be going in this one. So I'm just sitting on the couch. I'm like, no, I don't know about this. And then next thing you know, I get a phone, and my agent goes, you're in. And I'm like, I'm in. And I got the radio on like my ear, and I just hear my name, and I'm like going crazy, but I don't even know who I'm drafted by. And then I find out it's Detroit, and then obviously I'm on tears, everybody going crazy. But it was fun. It was really fun. Something I'll never forget.
That's awesome, guys. Well, listen, that's all the questions I have for today. I can't thank you enough for joining me from the sidelines. I really believe Western New York is going to love this show and love all the answers you guys had today. Just please know we're all rooting for each and every one of you guys here in Western New York. We want to see nothing but success for all of you. We're going to be following you all the way. Keep us abreast of what's going on. Anything that's great, you know Western New York wants to hear about it. Make sure we know about it, because we want to make sure we celebrate along with you.
Sounds good. Thanks for having us
Thank you,
on.
Mr. Thank you for having us on.